You know what's interesting about highly intelligent people? They rarely look the way we expect them to. We often imagine someone with a very high IQ as obviously brilliant, constantly speaking, solving complex problems out loud, or showing off knowledge. But psychology research suggests something different. Many people with extremely high intelligence actually display subtle behavioral patterns that don't always look like intelligence at first glance. In fact, cognitive psychologists often say that intelligence is less about what you know and more about how your brain processes the world. And that processing tends to show up through certain everyday habits. Here are 10 surprisingly common habits often found in people with very high IQ. The first is spending a lot of time alone. Highly intelligent people are often comfortable with solitude, not because they dislike others, but because their brains are constantly processing ideas. Solitude gives the prefrontal cortex, the part of the brain responsible for planning, reflection, and complex thinking, space to work. Research from the London School of Economics even found that highly intelligent individuals tend to feel less satisfied with frequent social interaction compared to others. Their brains simply crave quiet thinking time. The second habit is constant curiosity. People with high IQs tend to ask questions about almost everything, not just big philosophical questions, but small everyday ones. Why do people behave this way? Why does this system work like that? Their brain naturally searches for patterns. Curiosity becomes a kind of mental engine. The third habit is talking to themselves. This might sound strange, but psychologists call it self-directed speech. Studies show that talking to yourself can improve focus and cognitive control. It helps the brain organize thoughts and strengthen working memory. So when you see someone quietly narrating their own thinking, it may actually be a sign of an active cognitive system at work. The fourth habit is being comfortable saying, "I don't know." People with very high intelligence often understand the limits of their knowledge. In psychology, this relates to something called the Dunning-Kruger effect, the tendency for less knowledgeable people to overestimate what they know. Highly intelligent individuals often do the opposite. They are aware of how much complexity exists in the world. The fifth habit is overthinking small things. An analytical brain rarely turns off. The same cognitive processes that help solve complex problems can also lead to analyzing conversations, decisions, or possibilities in great detail. Sometimes this looks like indecision, but internally, it's a brain exploring multiple mental models at once. The sixth habit is a strong sense of humor. Interestingly, humor requires complex cognitive processing. To understand or create humor, the brain must recognize patterns, break expectations, and connect unrelated ideas. Studies published in intelligence research journals have shown a measurable correlation between higher IQ and advanced humor processing. The seventh habit is changing their minds when presented with new evidence. Highly intelligent people tend to treat beliefs as flexible mental models rather than fixed identities. When new information appears, their brain updates the model. In psychology, this ability is linked to cognitive flexibility, a key marker of advanced problem solving. Now, consider this for a moment. How often do we interpret these behaviors incorrectly? Someone who spends time alone may seem antisocial. Someone who asks many questions may seem skeptical. Someone who changes their mind may seem uncertain. But sometimes, these are actually signs of deeper thinking patterns. The eighth habit is late-night thinking. Many high IQ individuals report being more mentally active at night. Some researchers connect this with evolutionary psychology, suggesting that individuals with higher cognitive flexibility adapt more easily to non-traditional patterns like staying awake later. The ninth habit is observing more than speaking. Instead of immediately responding in conversations, highly intelligent people often watch social dynamics first. They gather information, analyze emotional cues, and then respond thoughtfully. This reflects strong pattern recognition in social behavior. And finally, the 10th habit is a constant search for meaning. High intelligence often comes with an increased awareness of complexity in society, relationships, and human behavior. This can lead to deeper reflection about purpose, identity, and how people make sense of their lives. It's not always dramatic or philosophical. Sometimes it's just a quiet question in the back of the mind. Why do we think the way we do? And perhaps that's the most interesting part of intelligence. It's not just about solving equations or remembering facts. At its core, intelligence is really about curiosity. A brain that keeps exploring patterns, questioning assumptions, and trying to understand the strange, fascinating puzzle of human nature.